Welcome back to Cocktails with Kurt.
Hey, Denise.
And Denise. Coming at you from Brown's Aristocratic Lounge, where today's cocktail is the Mai Tai. Tell us about the Mai Tai, Kurt. What are the components of a Mai Tai?
Basic components of a Mai Tai are a light rum, a dark rum, orange of some kind, lime,
And some sort of sweetener.
There are probably 1,000 different recipes from the Mai Tai. The earliest one that we've ever tried was probably the most accessible because it's got easily obtained components. Dark rum, light rum.
Not further defined.
Pineapple juice, orange juice, grenadine, and apricot brandy. The apricot brandy probably being the most exotic thing for a lot of people's home bars. So a lot of easy ingredients, tasty, but it's not the one that we do.
It's a far cry from what we do now.
It is a far cry from what we do now.
So tell us about the Brown's Aristocratic Lounge preferred Mai Tai.
The preferred Mai Tai was developed at the Hale Pele bar in Portland, Oregon, and it uses Jamaican rum, not further defined, overproof Jamaican rum, not further defined, orange curaçao, lime, and orgeat. Not orange curaçao, dry curaçao. Big difference.
Tell us about the difference. What's the difference between dry curaçao and orange curaçao?
So all curaçaos use bitter oranges from the island of Curaçao, and then add various spices. Dry curaçao is a little less sweet than orange curaçao, and they're not necessarily interchangeable, but if you have one and you don't have the other, you can probably do some substitution. The results will be different, but not bad.
We're just not going to get into blue curaçao, I think.
No, probably not.
Okay. Let's get back to the description of rums. So why do you think the recipe would specify Jamaican rum?
Jamaican rum is known for having really big flavor, so it's not subtle. And there's enough going on in the Mai Tai that you don't want subtlety.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
So Jamaican rum and then Jamaican overproof rum?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What's overproof mean?
Overproof basically means that you're talking probably 60% or more alcohol in the spirit, where most spirits are bottled at about 40% alcohol or 80 proof. The overproofs are going to be 55 to 60% or slightly higher. So 110, 120 proof.
Okay, let's get this show on the road. So what are the rums that we use?
Okay, so what we use for the Jamaican is Smith & Cross. This is actually an overproof in itself, so we actually use 2 overproofs. So as our non-overproof rum, we use Smith & Cross. As our overproof rum, we use Rumfire Overproof Rum, also Jamaican.
Okay. We have a guest
we have
here
a
who just
helper.
jumped up on my lap here. Okay. Hello, Minnie. Okay.
So this is the dry curaçao. Orgeat, which is an almond syrup. I've tried making it at home before. There are many recipes. It wasn't very successful, but we might try it again because there were several things that I know we didn't do as well as we can. On the other hand, Small Hands Foods out of California makes an exceptional one. So I'm also quite happy to use that. And then lime.
Previously juiced lime juice.
Previously juiced lime juice.
Okay.
Now the one technique that we've got that's new is this recipe calls for crushed ice, both in the mixing and in the glass itself.
Oh my gosh, it's Thor. No. It's not Thor.
So we're going to use an old school technique of crushing the ice. This is called a Lewis bag, and it's filled with ice. It's basically just a canvas bag, and you beat the crap out of it. Don't let the ice escape. Like that. There we go.
So we've already had the discussion of whether this will damage our brand new, expensive granite bar.
And it will not.
And it will not. I'm delighted to hear that.
So we use 8 ounces of fresh crushed ice to mix. And all that ice is going to get poured right in the glass, and then we're going to top it off with additional ice. So
Coming to the end of that bottle there.
which is why
I wonder how that
we
happened.
have more.
Now, is this something that you can buy from the ABC store in Virginia?
No, you cannot. The ABC stores in Virginia, as anyone who lives here knows, are limited on what they can get. If you can't get it at one, you can't get it at any. Or they have a uniform ordering list. So when I want to get any of my better things, Smith & Cross being one of them, I go to Ace Beverage in Washington, D.C. They can pretty much get anything you've ever heard of. Prices are good, and the staff there really know their stuff. So we've got an ounce and a half of Jamaican rum. Half an ounce of the Jamaican overproof. Half an ounce of the dry curaçao. Which is also almost out. 3/4 of an ounce of orgeat. And then 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lime. The other thing this recipe calls for is we put the lime shells right in the shakers.
So now do you just use the ice that's already in there?
We use the ice that's already in here, and then we top it off.
And you put the lime shell right in there.
Yep. It is all part of the thing. And then top it off with some additional crushed ice. And finally, a sprig of mint.
Just harvested from our very own cocktail garden out on the deck.
Just harvested.
All right.
And this is the Hale Pele Mai Tai. Cheers.
Cheers.
See you next time.
See you next time.